electric rate case. We'll just be adjusting screen names, making sure we get everybody here before it's time to begin. We'll be taking public comments if there's any members of the public in attendance. We'll do that first and then move on to the parties. Um, there's a couple of names on the screen I don't recognize, can't seem to place on the list of people I was expecting, so they may be members of the public. We'll review that once we get everyone checked in here. And you'll see we're already live streaming the hearing, just in case members of the public want to observe the hearing. They have that available before we begin. A few more people we're expecting to come. While we're waiting for people, there's a couple of screen names I don't recognize. One is D8R. Don't know if anyone recognizes that one, or if you could just unmute and let me know who you are, if you're a member of the public or representing a party.
Member of the public,
Okay.
David H. Roloff.
All right. Let me grab that here.
For public comment.
So let's spell your last name, please.
Roloff.
Okay, great. All right. So like I said, we'll take public comments first. Once we get started. So just sit tight until then. How about A. Whalen? Oh, is that? Oh, yeah, I recognize that. We got just about everyone but weak. So we got another few seconds to go here. Okay, well, looks like we have just about everyone we're expecting in the Zoom hearing at this point, and it's time to get started. So let's get on the record. Welcome everyone to docket 2800 ER 110. the application of the city of Kaukauna for authority to adjust electric rates. This is Michael Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC, and we're here with parties, commission staff, and members of the public on Zoom. We've made that connection available in our notice of hearing, and I guess I have not reviewed that particular notice from the utility. I'm not sure if that link was in their notice, but looks like people have gotten word of the hearing for the public to participate. We do have the opportunity to take public comments now and also in writing. The information on how to do that is on the screen share here, just displaying the notice of hearing that we issued last month. And written comments are due Wednesday, January 14th. They can be filed with the commission on our website or by US mail. And you'll see that on the screen, the details on how to do that. Notice of hearing is also available on our commission's ERF site, electronic records system. And there's a link here I'm displaying on the screen share that'll get you to that site for the documents. Also, not sure if there are any written comments on file at this time, but we'll continue to accept them until January 14th. Just want to make sure you get those in our hands by the 14th. So at this point, recommend you use our web link rather than mailing the comments to us. So that's the basic public, some of the information about the public process. This is a public session right now, so we are going to take comments from the public at this time. I believe we have one person teed up to do that. Just want to get off the record for a second, letting in one more person that we were expecting. So let me turn off the screen share and we can take our public comment. So we have David Roloff, I believe. You're a member of the public, wish to comment. So I'm gonna just spotlight you for everyone. And first of all, I just need to swear you in. So, yeah, turn your mic on. First, I'm going to swear you in and get your name for the record. So please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, give us your name and give us your comment, please.
My name is David H. Roloff with Roloff Manufacturing in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. Just a couple of quick things before I get into comment. You said you were doing a screen share. Nothing showed up on my screen, so I didn't see any of those notices.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know if anybody else did. I'm a little slow at using this type of equipment, so bear with me if
no problem.
I've got my daughter trying to help me once in a while.
After you're done, we'll go off the record and make sure everyone can see the screen, but I appreciate you bringing that to my attention.
Okay, and then for the notice for the, I've been trying to watch the Kaukauna Times. I did not see it there. Thankfully, I went in to get mail on Saturday, and that's when my notice first showed up. If I would have waited until today, I don't get mail till 10, I would have missed this meeting. So I'm just making you and the Kaukauna Utilities know that I just got this on Saturday. So somehow it got lost in the mail or whatever, just so the notices get out a little quicker. Now to go into comment, first of all, who am I? I am the president of Roloff Manufacturing. We're a gray iron family foundry that's been in business. This April will be 82 years. So I've seen a lot of hearings. I've gone through a lot of stuff personally and with other relation regards to all different hearings. We use electricity a lot. We're one of the biggest users in the city with a few others. I did work with the Kaukauna utility. They did an awesome job. Actually, it was a good learning experience going through how the rates are going to be done. I do realize that we don't utilize full capacity, so it runs us more around the 20-25% of usage. Because of that 4% ends up going to about an 11% for our company. We looked at trying to melt at night off peak to save money. That does not work due to the fact with shift differentials and having to put more people on so we can communicate from one shift to the next. It just doesn't work for our small company that way. I'd like to make a note that right now, currently, a lot of foundries in Wisconsin, not specifically, but also throughout the United States, a lot of them are quite slow. My daughter is the president of the Northeast Wisconsin American Foundry Society, and she deals with all the other foundries. And a lot of them are just working 4 days a week, 3 days 3 weeks, and then shut down for a full week. We're doing basically the same. We're working 4 days a week. So what happens is that with the power and not utilizing as much, I realize my increase looks bigger than what it should be than the 4%. And I very much understand that, again, with working with Kaukauna Utilities on how this happened. So basically, what it's a hardship to have all that come down to us. It is slow, even though they say the economy is picking up. What I would like to see you consider, if at all possible, is it's a 4.07%. Is there a way you could please split that to a 2.07 the first year and 2% the second year? This would help not only our company, but it would help a lot of everybody on that grid. But you have a lot of people on fixed incomes and Social Security. And I think that would also help them out as well if we could split this instead of putting the whole 4.07% all at one time. Basically, that's it. I like where it is, but yet it's if we could just split that, it would make a big help for everybody across the board. I'd like you to really consider that instead of just pushing through a full 4.07. And I appreciate you allowing me to talk and say this. Again, it was a pleasure working with everybody that I did work with, and that would be it. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your comment. Let's go off the record. Actually, let's stay on the record. Sorry, let's go back on. I don't see any members of the public, any other members of the public in attendance. So at this point, we're going to close the public hearing session. If we do get another member of the public who joins us before we adjourn, we'll take that comment at the end of the hearing. But at this point, we have all the public comments we can collect at this time. I am going to try that screen share one more time and just show you the notice again. It's displaying for me. Let's just go off the record. Is anyone else seeing that? Are we having, is it, yeah, okay. So
I can see it.
You see it now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So that'll be important for the party session too. So, all right, let's back on the record. We're switching over to the party session. So let's start. Oh, and I can say, so Mr. Roloff, I'm gonna mute you, turn off your screen. You can feel free to stay on the line, or you can watch the hearing on the YouTube connection. But because this is a combined session, feel free to stick around. I'm just going to turn your screen off for this at this point. Okay, so not your screen, your microphone and your camera. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so back to the party session. We have the service list. So let's get appearances on the record, just starting in alphabetical order with Citizens Utility Board.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Narvi appearing for the Citizens Utility Board. Also on for the hearing today are witnesses Corey Singletary and Jeff Adams.
All right, thanks. And we have Kaukauna Utilities.
Good morning, Your Honor. It's Kira Lair from Perkins Coie appearing on behalf of Kaukauna Utilities.
All right. And Public Service Commission.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Garcia, Assistant General Counsel for the Public Service Commission with Commission staff.
Okay, Wisconsin Industrial Energy Group.
Good morning, Your Honor. Steve Heinzen for the Wisconsin Industrial Energy Group.
All right, thanks very much. Welcome back, everybody. I think just about everyone's been here in the last few cases. so let's see. Next order of business is reviewing the offered evidence list. So we'll do that now. I think I sent this out on Friday, so hopefully everyone's got a chance to look at it. I'm displaying my version in Microsoft Word because I can make changes to it now, but you guys got a PDF version. It should look pretty similar. So let's move up to the top here. So first of all, just in terms of recognizing the correct documents that are being offered for the record, are there any errors or omissions? Did I not recognize the correct documents currently being offered? And we could start with the applicant on that question.
None for us, Your Honor. Thanks.
And for Cub,
No changes, Your Honor.
okay, and Weeg.
Your Honor, I guess I have some questions about some of the comments that you made in connection with the exhibits.
Right, I get that. Did I identify all the current documents you're offering for the record?
Yes, yes, you
Okay.
have.
All right, so just same question for commission staff.
That looks good to admission staff, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, yeah. So now I can take questions on the comments. Obviously, there may be a few in this case. So let's start with the applicant for questions.
Your Honor, this is extraordinarily minor, but we did read that provision of the facilitating matters order not to be mandatory on municipal utilities for rate cases, only to be mandatory on investor-owned utilities. So that's just why we didn't do it in the first instance. And I'm really just curious if we should make a habit of doing it at the outset. We have no problem changing it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, just so that we understand what's in the record. I'm just a little confused by, especially because I think some of the notice documents weren't offered. But if we could include the notice document and just put all 3 exhibits into the application exhibit, that would be useful for
We
us.
will do that. Thank you.
And I guess that was, oh, and there was something with, I'm sorry, just go off the record a second. Something's beeping. Maybe that's not me. Okay. All right. Let me just check one more thing here. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's get back on the record. So how about Cub? Any questions about the comments?
No questions, but just a couple of comments, and if you need to clarify, please do so. So for witness Adams, I think I understand the instruction. I think there was a typo with the citation to the FMO. I interpret it to refer to the provision in the FMO dealing with citations to data requests, and so I think that's actually FMO 3.d as in Daniel rather than E. But with that understanding, I think we have our direction on that one.
Okay.
And with Mr. Singletary's testimony, there were duplicates filed as noted here, due to a filing glitch or a glitch with the browser as I was filing it. And so it looks like that's been corrected. I did email I think Mr. Attorney Garcia, yeah, I think it was Attorney Garcia. So if there's somebody else I should contact in a case like that, let me know. But I realized it when it happened, and I thought that was the appropriate way to deal with it. So
Yeah, that's fine. I guess I don't know if you're having trouble with IRF because I think it does happen on occasion where you're filing twice. But I mean, filing it again, it does no harm. And it looks pretty obviously that it's a duplicate, so it didn't really create a whole lot of confusion. But I mean, I guess when I file something on IRF, a new screen pops up saying it's been it's been received, I guess. I don't even know the particular language, but so you're just getting a lag between that and filing a new document. Is that?
yeah, this was the first time I experienced this, and so I don't think
Okay.
it's a recurring problem. But I think the browser kind of hung and wasn't responsive. And then, it showed up again. And so I had to, without any confirmation of filing. So I had to
Oh.
refile everything, or at least I thought I did.
Sure.
So that's why that happened.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good to know. I can ask IT as well if this happens again. If I get more instances of this, I'll ask them to check into IRF and make sure it's working like it's supposed to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and you're correct. That's the wrong FMO citation. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for Cub. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay. And so there's a couple of questions here. So I'll just let you start. What questions do you have, Attorney Heinzen?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. It is, let me think about it here. Well, I guess we should address what is in.
Just take direct first,
Yeah,
or
I'm sorry. Well, I think I see rebuttal. There's a question with rebuttal. But I'll man, if you'd like to, start someplace else, that's fine. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, what's your question? Let's do that.
Sure. So in rebuttal testimony, you note that this is very near the bottom of your note. To change the citations, we had a citation to response to a weak data request, and you asked that we then make it an exhibit, which is just fine. It's the following though. It says, to what filing does the citation refer? Staff's draft cost workbook provided. And so I guess I'll need staff's involvement in explaining this, but we asked in a first data request to staff for the cost of service study that it had used to put together its initial filings. And we did get a copy of that, but staff did not file it on IRF.
Okay.
Yes, staff doesn't file the full Excel file of our cost of service study. If the intention was to get something like that in the record, I think that would be on the party to do that.
Okay. And let me just check that. That it might not be necessary, but you didn't happen to have well, let's go off the record for this time. We're still on. Do we have a page number for that? For the Stevens testimony? I didn't put that
Oh,
in.
yeah, it is on page rebuttal 14. It's a citation to sources that were used to prepare table 4.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
I think some of those might be in the schedules that staff put up in our exhibits. PSA Aguirre 3R and 4R, but I don't know for sure that those are in there.
mm-hmm.
And Your Honor, I would note that I guess it was difficult to get the cost of service study in the first place, and I'm not sure why it was not put on IRF. I certainly don't think that it's my responsibility to have staff put their discovery responses onto IRF. But how that may be, this came in rebuttal testimony. Certainly, staff had an opportunity to, challenge it if they thought that it was misrepresenting their position, and they have not.
Yeah, I don't think
and I don't think sitting here they challenge it either.
Right. Yeah, that's not the point. But I guess at this point, why don't we do a little, maybe just some clarification on that? And so I think if you want to say, if you could say it's the workbook of the cost of service study and give the exhibit number for that, and that's currently being offered.
So we don't.
You don't offer that, okay?
Yeah, I think
So then, Oh, okay. The easiest thing to do then is just put an NRE disclaimer at that footnote, just so we know it's not on the record.
Okay.
But no one's contesting it, and you used it to base the witness used it, but it's not being offered. So that's what the NRE
Okay.
disclaimer is really essentially for. But that at least that clarifies for the reader that it's why it's not being offered. It's not cited as a record document.
Okay. That's reasonable. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I will just ask, so
Yeah,
leave what's there and then attach to the end of that the NRE statement.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Yep, can do that.
All right. So any other questions?
Oh, and
Back,
on
are you
exhibit,
back on the record?
sorry.
No, I don't think we
Okay.
need to be back on record yet.
Exhibit 7, your note is, so I get the compliance with, but it notes that it was originally filed as testimony offered.
Uh-huh.
And I just looked it up and I don't see that that's the case. And I just wanted to make sure that you and I are seeing the
Yep.
same thing.
So I have a program where I can change the document type.
Oh, and
So
you
I
changed
switched
it.
it from testimony to exhibit just so that I can keep things organized. But
Okay.
that just if you file it wrong, then I have to fix it. So I'm just noting that so that everyone recognizes that you want to make sure
Okay.
you're
It
filing
is
it
not
right.
something I need to refile.
Well,
Or maybe
not
it
for
is.
that reason. Yeah.
Not for that reason. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Thank you so much.
And then the difference between 8 and 9, we're clear about that should be.
Yeah. Yes, this is a citation that you have asked that we make a discovery response. That was the one we talked about in the rebuttal.
Right. But then you filed an 8 in surrebuttal, so that needs to be switched to 9.
Right. Yep. Got
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
And then I think we probably want to just discuss the next item on the record. So let's just back on the record for this. So it is I believe it's in surrebuttal, and it deals with the exhibit. I thought it was exhibit 9, right? What was currently filed what was currently filed, the second version of exhibit Stevens 8. It's rebuttal testimony from, I'm just gonna show that to everyone. It's rebuttal
Yep.
testimony from paper counsel in the ER 107 docket from 2016. And when reading the Weig testimony, I mean, I see what the witness was doing throughout the course of the testimony by referencing past filings and past cases. And I thought that those references made sense to me and were limited to saying, here's the history of the case, and here's the history of this line of cases, and here's where our position is buttressed by, citing to past events, past
Mhm.
understandings. And what I think I just didn't feel quite comfortable about the offer of this testimony and its citation because largely because just the way it's been framed, and I can try to show that. I think it'd be useful to.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah,
Right.
just let me just get this
Yeah.
on the record here. So, the way it's framed is on surrebuttal Weig Stevens 6. I believe. Let me see. Yeah. So it's at the first few lines here, and it. Okay. Well, I can't find the exact spot here, but I think the issue is that it's not only relying on the testimony of this witness in terms of providing background or understanding of what the witness is presenting, but it seems to say, just go look at this testimony. I agree with it. So that kind of seems to draw a line that I'm not too comfortable with by saying, we're going to offer this for the record, and this is a case from 2016 with a different party and different witnesses that may not be appropriate to rely on in that sense. Now, no one's objecting to this, but I did want to raise that as something that I'm not really comfortable with. So any way we can maybe alleviate that concern?
Well, so just to, I mean, so I put it in this way, a matter of efficiency,
Mhm.
frankly. We have the same parties in these cases, time after time. And so we could repeat the testimony in the testimony or, point to where it has been addressed and discussed in the past. Recognizing that if folks have a concern with it, they can, challenge it. Or put, on cross-examination, Mr. Stevens will be. So that's really, it's a matter of really of what I see as an efficient way to manage an issue. If it is necessary, we can have Mr. Stevens. We can prepare the testimony, while he's on the stand today to address the issues that he has or that he is pointing to from the earlier testimony.
Okay. Any comments from the applicant or commission staff on that?
Your Honor, commission staff doesn't object to a course of action like that.
To the remedy you're saying, or the?
Yes, I apologize. Yeah, I think if there's a concern there and Mr. Stevens is here, there's no reason why we couldn't have him, explain his position and then point to those older cases.
Okay. How about the applicant?
No particular comments. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if we can briefly just have the witness sort of be more specific about what is being supported in by the paper counsel testimony and how it relates to Weig's current position, that would be useful.
Okay.
I just have a feeling this is going to come up in other cases, not necessarily from Weig, but I see this as something that we just want to be a little bit careful about opening a door to just going and citing and offering that much background and new evidence from another witness in another case. So if that's something that, if you can just take care of that sort of in a summary fashion, I think that's fine.
Okay.
But just so we make sure we do understand exactly what is being offered in this case by this witness would be useful to the record.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And I see that we had the another exhibit that's being, and I think that's all, except for the rest of the comments are basically refiling issues, I believe. But I appreciate paying attention to that stuff. And in terms of the new document, I think you proposing to offer a new exhibit that was filed by email. So that, do we know? Well, we can go off the record for this. Do we expect to offer how do you expect to mark that? It looks like you might not have been sure.
Right. Yes. So the purpose of this, Mr. Stevens has Sir rebuttal that he will read from the stand, and it is an exhibit that will be used in connection with his testimony there.
Okay. All right. So when we get to it, we'll mark that Stevens 10, but we'll wait for that. Okay. Thanks. All right. So we're set with Weig.
Thank you.
And let's get on the record. We're on the record. I don't know anymore. Let's hear from commission staff. Any questions about the comments?
Your Honor, on the Sir rebuttal comment, I just wanted to check. It's down a little bit further.
Oh yeah. I was like, wait, that's not. Okay.
Yeah, but refile to comply with FMO 3D.
I'm sorry, Mr. Garcia. Could you say the beginning of that again?
Yes, refile to comply with FMO 3D.
Okay.
I just wanted to confirm the citation that was pointing to.
Okay, so did I mess that up?
I think you're right. I just wanted to make sure it's.
Let me check it first. 3D.
I believe you are gesturing to the bottom of page 3.
Oh, where exactly? Is that what you mean?
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's just a. I don't recall exactly, but I think it said the commission decided in the
It's not,
last case or something. I remember.
it's not showing up on the screen. Oh, there.
Yeah.
So I had thought at the bottom of page 3,
Yeah.
the citation to a PSC reference number. I believe that's what you were
Oh, possibly.
pointing to. I just wanted to ensure that that is what. And add an.
That's correct. And that was the only one I thought.
The very top, there is a typo, and that I think was
Oh.
missed in the comments
Okay. That's
on the header.
right. Mm-hmm.
And that's it, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
want to point out that
Okay,
comment
that
on the
works.
top and make sure that the PSC reference was what you were referring.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Thanks. Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Go ahead.
there's a question on there about the ex-PSC revenue requirement.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Staff will not be offering that because exhibit field 1 has all of the information in it. It's more up to date. It's what was used in testimony. So the revenue requirement exhibit will not be offered.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirming that. All right. So anything else? Anybody? All right. So I can, so there's a number of changes here, but given with the changes that we've discussed, that we'll expect to see on refiling, I can accept the documents displayed on the offered evidence list, subject to verification by the witness. So at this point, we can take our first witnesses. I know that there's a number of witnesses that there's no cross, so there's an opportunity at this point to offer to have those people verify by affidavit and not take the stand, but parties and staff are certainly free to call those witnesses at this point. It's just not required. So we can start with the applicant.
Your Honor, could I interrupt for just a moment?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just to confirm that the revised surrebuttal has been accepted into the record from staff. The 3R and 4R and surrebuttal R.
Oh, okay. So, you mean the changes, the
Right.
request to correct? Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think about that. Yeah. So, well, do you have any comments on that? Any objections to those changes?
No, it's important to know whether it's in the record yet. Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Stevens will be having some comments from the standstill, and so
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So the offered evidence list does indicate that 3R and I'm sorry, Exhibit PSC Aguirre 3R and 4R are replacing the original documents. There's also a request of the PSC to correct surrebuttal PSC Aguirre, and that is also accepted. So as it appears on the offered evidence list, I'm accepting these documents. So in order to, we'll still need to see a refiled surrebuttal to incorporate the corrections, both indicated in the request and in my comment.
thank you.
All right. Okay, great. So, so any witnesses we can excuse and have verified by affidavit? Just chime in if you got one. No, we'll take them all. All right, well, let's get started with the applicant's witnesses.
Thank you, Your Honor. Kaukauna calls Aaron Wallen to the stand.
Okay, I see you there. So just unmute your mic. All right, and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead with this witness.
Thank you. Mr. Wallen, did you prepare or cause to be prepared direct rebuttal, surrebuttal testimony in one exhibit?
Yes.
And do you have any corrections to your testimony?
I do have one minor correction to my rebuttal testimony. It is on the second page of my rebuttal, line 8. The word commissions should just have an apostrophe between the N and the S. Just a grammatical change.
Thank you, Mr. Wallen. And with that correction, is the information in your testimony and exhibit true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Wallen is available for cross.
All right, thanks very much. So we'll see a refiled version of that to incorporate the change. And any cross for this witness?
Commissioner,
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Garcia, we didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I just said we don't have cross, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. So at this point, you're excused. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Next, Kaukauna calls Mallory Clevin to the stand, please.
Okay. See you there. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right. Go ahead.
Ms. Clevin, did you prepare direct, rebuttal, surrebuttal, and 2 exhibits in this proceeding?
Yes, I did.
And is the information therein true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
And have you had an opportunity to review surrebuttal PSC Aguirre?
Yes, I have.
Is there something in that testimony on which you would like to comment?
Yes, Ms. Aguirre raised an issue in a Q&A in Sir Rebuttal PSC Aguirre 6 that I deemed to be a request for clarification, and I would like to comment on that.
And for context, I know it's on the screen, but could you please read the Q&A on which you would like to comment?
At Sir Rebuttal PSC Aguirre 6, lines 10 through 16, the question and answer read, does commission staff have any comments regarding the direct assignment of the Thilmany substation to the CP3 class? And the answer was yes. Regarding the direct allocation of the Thilmany substation, commission staff previously removed all directly allocated expense so that they would only be applied to the relevant class. In developing the cost of service, it was and still is unclear to commission staff why the applicant provided a 0 maximum measured demand for one of the 3 CP3 customers.
And what are your comments regarding this Q&A?
I believe there are multiple issues being conflated in this Q&A. First, in KU's application, KU used a 012 CP demand, not maximum measured demand, for customer number 1. See Exhibit KU application attachment 3, Schedule 4. Customer number 1 has a 012 CP demand because of its ability to self-generate its entire load requirements. Because customer number 1's demand does not contribute to any demand-related purchase power costs to KU, it appropriately has a 012 CP demand. However, customer number 1 has nothing to do with the Thilmany substation. Customer number 2 is the only CP3 customer associated with the Thilmany substation. Customer number 2 does not have a 0 maximum measured demand or a 012 CP demand in KU's application. See Exhibit KU application attachment 3, Schedule 4. I hope this clarifies the issue raised in that Q&A.
Thank you. And have you had a chance to review Exhibit PSC Aguirre 4R that was distributed last week?
Yes.
Do you have any comments on that exhibit?
Yes. Among other updates, Exhibit PSC Aguirre 4R updated the RG1 customer charges and energy rates. As I noted in Rebuttal KU Clevin 3 through 4, RG3 energy rates should also be updated to be consistent with the methodology approved in Docket 2800 TE 109. Today, I update the table I provided at Rebuttal KU Clevin 4 to reflect the new energy rates Commission staff provided in Exhibit PSC Aguirre 4R, along with a $15 customer charge, which matches the RG1 rate class. In that table there, the single phase customer charge should be showing a $15 on-peak energy kilowatt hour charge of 0.1755, standard kilowatt hour energy charge of 0.1120, and an off-peak kilowatt hour energy charge of 0.0605.
Thank you. Do you have any other comments?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Ms. Clevin is available for cross-examination.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, I just go off the record for a second. If someone joined us, I just want to let them in. Okay, and so I just went off the record. Just let Chris read into the hearing, and we're now in the party session where we're taking evidence from the parties and commission staff. So if you're a member of the public and do wish to make a comment in this case, we'll just need you to wait until the end of the hearing, and I can do that at that time. But otherwise, feel free to just connect and observe. I just want to get on the record just for one question for the witness at this point. So I am displaying on the screen share from I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name correctly because I did it wrong before. Aguirre 4R exhibit. And just so I'm clear, am I displaying the right rate sheet or it's RG3? Is this the one we're talking about?
Yes, that's
It
the
is.
one I'm talking about. Yep.
Okay. And okay, so I think that's what I wanted to confirm from you. And then in terms of making this correction, I would, if the correction's acceptable, to staff could just refile this exhibit as 4R2. But we'll see if there's some controversy here or not, and then we can debate that. But that would be assuming everyone agrees to that change, we can solve the correction in that fashion. So, but let's move on to see if there's any questions for you. So, any cross-examination for this witness?
Not from commission staff, Your Honor.
Okay. So I guess I could hear from the witness, staff's witness about this, but I guess as you sit here, Attorney Garcia, do you see any issue with that change, or is that something staff's going to have a comment on?
I don't know if staff will have a comment on it at this
Okay.
time, Your Honor. I think they'll have to take a look at it.
Okay, so let's wait then till we hear from the witness. Hopefully we can get some clarity on staff's position there. All right. How about any other cross from anyone?
Yeah, no cross here.
Okay. Cub, any cross?
No cross.
No. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's all we have for you. Thanks very much. You're excused, and we can move on to Cub's witnesses.
Thank you, Your Honor. Cub will call witness Jeff Adams.
Okay, I see you there. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm? Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Adams, did you submit direct testimony along with one exhibit in this proceeding?
Yes, I did.
And were you present during the hearing when we discussed the changes to be filed with one of your exhibits?
Yes, I was.
And subject to that change, is the information in your written testimony and exhibit truthful and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
If I asked you the same questions that appear in your testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Thank you. No further questions for Mr. Adams.
All right. Any cross for the witness?
No cross, Your Honor.
All right. Thanks very much. You're excused. Next witness.
Next, Cub will call Corey Singletary.
See you there. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Singletary, did you submit direct rebuttal and surrebuttal testimony along with exhibits 1 through 5 in this proceeding?
I did.
And were you present during this hearing when we discussed some changes to be filed to your exhibits?
Yes.
And subject to those changes that were discussed, is the information in your written testimony and exhibits truthful and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
It is.
If I asked you the same questions that appear in your testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Nothing further for Mr. Singletary.
All right. Yeah, before we move on, this could be a question to you, Attorney Narvi. I was just curious. I forgot that I did ask that question about Singletary 1. I'm just curious. Oh no, I guess is it? I guess it's Adams 1. Yeah, Adams 1. Yeah, just before we move on, I just was curious. Was there a reason to file just the request, I guess was the discovery request, or does it just make sense to file the response when it comes to offering party discovery?
I, th- I think the purpose for the exhibit was limited to the request, but there's no reason not to file the response as well because it encompasses both.
Okay, all right, yeah, and I would prefer that, but just yeah, I wasn't sure when I was reading the testimony. Maybe there was a reason, or if you weren't getting a response, that could be a reason for putting it in. But yeah, that it's more appropriate to have the request and the response together. So I appreciate that. Okay,
Yes,
so
understood.
any questions for witness Singletary?
Not from commission staff, Your Honor.
No.
Okay, all right, thanks. You're excused. So move on to Weig.
Sure. And Your Honor, I will make the request. Would we be able to have just a short break right now so I can just check in with my witness in connection with testimony of his colleague that he's going to speak about on the stand?
Okay, sure. Yeah, we can take, what do you think? 10? Well, we can go to meet back at 11.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. So let's do
Yep,
that.
thanks.
We'll go into recess until 11 and we'll see everyone then.
Whoops, I didn't realize my camera was on.
Better on than off. Okay. Well, it's 11 a.m. We're back here on the record, so can we proceed with we have witness Stevens here, and we're waiting for Attorney Heinzen.
Oh, I'm here, but just
There you go.
There we go. My video is off.
Perfect.
There we are. All right.
Okay,
Hi.
excellent. All right, so we're ready to go with this witness?
Yes, please, Mr. Stevens, take the stand.
All right, I see you there. I'll swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Stevens. Did you prepare and cause be filed direct testimony, rebuttal testimony, and rebuttal testimony in this matter?
Yes, I did.
And did you also prepare and have pre-filed 8 exhibits?
Yes.
Okay. If I were to ask you the questions that are set forth in your testimony today while you're under oath, would your responses be the same?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to interrupt for a sec. Just to clarify, we have 2 Stevens 8s offered, so I think that amounts to all adds up to 9 exhibits currently offered.
Yes, you're with the corrections this morning. That's right. The revisions this morning. Thank you.
Okay, so you just want to confirm that with the witness. Okay.
And then Mr. Stevens, that's 9 exhibits that you caused to be pre-filed. Is that correct?
I think so. I'm not sure the status of the original Exhibit A at this point, which was the testimony from the 107 docket.
Yeah, actually, it's a thank you for that. That's a excellent question. Would you have us remove the Alderson testimony, Your Honor?
I think that's the preference. If the witness is going to address that information on the stand, we can forgo the original Stevens 8. So yeah, you are correct. In that case, we would have 8 exhibits total currently offered. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay. Takes a village here.
Right. Okay, Mr. Stevens, I have some questions to ask you in connection with a portion of your rebuttal testimony, touching upon the testimony of a colleague in an earlier case. In your rebuttal testimony, you discussed why it was not reasonable to classify Kaukauna Utilities production plant as 20% demand and 80% energy. In connection with the discussion, you cited testimony from Amanda Alderson in an earlier KU case in which she discussed why a 20/80 classification was not appropriate for KU, and you agreed with her arguments. Could you please, just in summary form, tell us who Amanda Alderson is, your working relationship with her, as well as the Alderson arguments you agree with?
Certainly. Amanda Alderson is a former employee of the same firm where I work, Brubaker and Associates, and she testified in 2800 ER 107 on behalf of Wisconsin Paper Council on cost of service and revenue allocation issues. And in the context of that testimony, she addressed the testimony of then staff witness Corey Singletary. Want to make clear he's now Cub witness Corey Singletary, and if I accidentally say staff in any of this part of my testimony, please interpret it as Cub. Related to the use of the equivalent peaker study to classify a production plant between demand and energy. And I agree with virtually everything she said in that regard, but I would like to limit my comments here to the part where she addresses why it's an inappropriate treatment for the hydroelectric facilities, since I have already addressed the inappropriateness as related to the peaking facility in my pre-filed testimony in this case. So in summary, I begin by saying CUB's use of an equivalent peaker study to determine its 20% demand, 80% energy classification is not appropriate for a utility that purchases a large portion, 75% or possibly more of its energy capacity through a purchase power contract with WPPI Energy or WIPI. And I'll discuss further below that it's premised on a theory that production costs can be classified by evaluating the planning criteria for meeting additional or new load on the system. Equivalent peaker studies can be typically found in marginal cost of service studies, not embedded cost of service studies, as are used by all of the parties in this case. For KU specifically, should it need to meet new or additional load, certainly increasing its purchases from WIPI likely would be the first and cheapest options to be considered, as opposed to building a new peaking, intermediate, or baseload unit, and especially hydro generation. The hydro generation is inextricably tied to the power purchased by KU through its WIPI contract. The demand and energy levels purchased by KU are offset by a behind-the-meter credit for the hydro generation on the KU system. The hydro units do more than simply provide low-cost, run-of-the-river energy. They offset KU's monthly peak demand at a savings rate equal to the demand rate in the WIPI contract. Therefore, the value of the hydro assets is directly tied to the purchase power contract rate paid to WIPI. Including the value of the hydro assets in the equivalent peaker study based on the ratio of their installed cost to the CT installed cost, as CUB has done, is not consistent with those units' true value to KU.
Do you believe that the equivalent peaker method is appropriate for use in a cost for Kaukauna?
No, the NARUC manual, or the Electric Utility Cost Allocation Manual published by the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners, indicates that the underlying theory of the equivalent peaker method is to consider the system planning methods of the utility when determining the need for and the type of additional generating capacity. Given that KU purchases 75% or more of the total energy needs of its system, therefore, using an equivalent peaker study that fully ignores the primary method by which KU might meet the additional load needs of its system is unreasonable. Further, CUB provides no support for its use of the equivalent peaker method in this case, which I assume is the genesis for its 2080 classification here, considering that that's been Mr. Corey's consistent classification recommendation since the time when he was on staff, as opposed to any other energy weighting methods described in the NARUC manual. In order for CUB's equivalent peaker analysis to be appropriate, KU would need to indicate that KU system planning processes rely on determining only whether load needs would be met by building a new peaking or baseload generating unit, the only two units contemplated in CUB's equivalent peaker analysis.
Could you please further explain how the KU-owned hydro generation is treated under the WIPI contract?
Yes. KU's total system demand and load, or energy, during the month are reconciled at the WIPI-owned meters and become the starting point for determining the total purchase power cost for KU for that month. To these demand and energy billing units, a behind-the-meter generation credit is then applied. The total monthly hydro generation for the month is subtracted from KU's monthly total system energy, and the 3-year average of the hydro output coincident with KU's monthly demand in the billing month is subtracted from KU's total system monthly peak demand. The WIPI energy and demand contract rates are then applied to those reduced billing units to develop the total purchase power cost for the month. Based on this treatment, under the WIPI contract, it is clear that the existence of the hydro units provides a benefit to customers that is directly tied to the existence of the WIPI contract and can be calculated using the WIPI contract rates.
How does or how would you imagine that the equivalent peaker study that would be used here would calculate the value of hydro assets?
When the equivalent peaker study was calculated back at the time of the 107 case, Mr. Singletary's equivalent peaker study calculated 96% of the hydro asset value as energy related based on the ratio of the CT installed cost to hydro installed cost. That equivalent peaker method states all costs above that of a peaking unit are energy related. The true cost of a hydro asset to KU, though, considering the example if a hydro asset went offline, is directly tied to the WIPI contract rate, not the relative cost of CT generation, since KU would purchase more power from WIPI as opposed to ramp up its high variable cost CT meaning combustion turbine or peaking unit. Considering specifically KU's purchase power expense, approximately 45% of the total annual expense at that time was energy related, and I would expect a similar percentage at this time, and is incurred through the energy charges. This is a far cry from the 96% energy related value calculated in Mr. Singletary's original equivalent peaker analysis, and equally far removed from the 80% energy classification proposed by staff in this proceeding.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. And we will, I'm going to turn now your attention to the rebuttal testimony of commission staff.
Okay, before we move on with that, I just wanted to clarify. So I just saw we were referencing Exhibit Weeks Stevens 8 in rebuttal. So that would need to be removed, those references, correct?
Oh, as far as the actual citations?
Yeah. So because that's related to the paper council testimony.
Right. Let me just pull this here.
And then there's also question that I had that we probably should cover before we move on. Just there is the citation to the NARUC manual, which is on the rebuttal Stevens 6, and then I think it continues on. I think that's Exhibit Stevens 7.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Okay, so we can make sure we update that citation. I wasn't sure, so I'd asked that question, but I didn't want to make sure that that's true. Okay, so we can add that citation to the NARUC manual citations in that testimony. And then okay, and then
Your Honor, if you were referring to the footnote 8, which is the footnote that includes citation to the exhibit that is Alderson's testimony.
Yes.
I believe that aside from removing the reference to her testimony being included as Exhibit Stevens 8, much of the rest of this of the footnote, I think is fine and reasonable.
I think in my opinion, it's okay, especially given the clarification we just heard. So it came from your current witness explaining what was being referenced by that. The fact that it goes back to the 107 case is fine to reference now at this point, just for that purpose. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with the footnote, except for that Stevens 8 is going to be something different. So, so we want to just exclude this the current citations to Stevens 8 in the rebuttal.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Um,
And so
so,
then when I refile it, just have those references gone. Okay, yeah.
right. And then there was another item that I mentioned, because there was a response to a discovery that was cited on page 8 of the surrebuttal, but there was no, it's page 8, correct? Huh. Oh no, it's the
Is that
exhibit.
possibly in the rebuttal?
That could be, yeah, that's,
Uh,
so.
And I
It's,
think, and you had noted in that we are to, it was a citation to, and I don't have it right now, but in front of me, I'll be able to get to it, but it was and you had suggested, or not suggested, but directed that we create to create an exhibit for what we were footnoting or citing to.
yeah, it's 4-week.
Right. It was
9.
identified as as a source site
Oh, that's just for this. Yeah.
in the
So
table.
that could be, so it's the citation to 4-week 9, attachment A,
Mhm.
rebuttal, Weig, Stevens 14. That would be referenced as Stevens 8.
Right.
And then you want to take out all the other references to Stevens 8 in the rebuttal.
That referred to the testimony.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. So go ahead with the rest of your
Okay. Thank you.
testimony. Yeah. Did I
Right.
lose you?
Mr. Stevens, I'm now going to direct you to staff's rebuttal testimony. And I'll ask first, have you reviewed the rebuttal testimony and the revisions to that testimony that staff witness Aguirre filed in this case?
Yes, I have. Ms. Aguirre, I believe, testified as to several issues that I raised in my rebuttal testimony. Her testimony contains both misstatements and misunderstandings that I wish to respond to, which I will correct for the record.
Okay, and what is the purpose of your rebuttal testimony today?
I respond first to Ms. Aguirre's testimony regarding the allocation of KU's substation costs, given her direct assignment of the Tilmany substation cost to the CP3 class. Second, I respond to the assignment of secondary voltage distribution plant in staff's cost of service study to the CP3 class. The CP3 class includes only customers who take service at primary voltage and thus make no use at all of secondary voltage distribution plant. In addition, I wish to comment on Ms. Aguirre's overall conclusion.
And what is the issue around the direct assignment of the Tilmany substation to the CP3 class?
As I explained in my rebuttal testimony at rebuttal Wig Stevens 17 through 18, if one directly assigns the cost of the Tilmany substation to the CP3 class, as staff does, then to properly and fairly allocate KU's remaining substation costs, the customer load served by the Tilmany substation must be removed from the CP3 allocation factor. The Tilmany substation serves the load of a single CP3 customer, and its costs have been directly allocated to the CP3 class. Failure then to subtract the single customer's load from the CP3 load allocation factor results in the CP3 class paying 100% of the Tilmany substation and the same allocated portion of the remaining substation costs that it would pay if Tilmany substation was not directly assigned. The Tilmany substation costs to serve that single customer associated with the plant served by the Tilmany substation is already covered through the direct assignment, and only the loads of the remaining CP3 customers should be used for computing the CP3 class's total share of other substation costs.
And how did Ms. Aguirre respond to this?
Hello there. Apologize for that technical glitch. I thought you would be able to continue on without me, but I guess not.
Oh, so you kicked us out, not just me.
Yeah, we got through the rest of the witnesses' answer, and then you didn't see that, Debbie?
No, the last thing I have is how did Ms. Aguirre respond to this?
In her rebuttal testimony is the end of that sentence.
Should I start?
Sorry, shall we continue, Your Honor?
Yeah, I think that's it. There's no objections to what was said. I won't, I need to review it at this point, so apologize for that glitch there.
Okay, no, thank you.
All right, so go ahead.
And so I'll just ask, could you read the last sentence back, please, then?
Yeah, go ahead and do that, please.
What I have before we got kicked out?
Including that little bit that I added to it. Here. So how did...
And how did Ms. Aguirre respond to this in her rebuttal testimony?
Yes. Thank you. Then Mr. Stevens?
It's not clear that she made a correction based on my review of her rebuttal testimony at rebuttal PSC Aguirre 6 at lines 10 through 16, where she addresses this issue directly, but in only 2 sentences. I will address these 2 sentences in turn, but I would note that KU witness Clevin covered some of this, so there might be some duplication. Ms. Aguirre's first sentence indicating that staff previously removed all directly allocated expense so they would only be applied to the relevant class is either inconclusive, wrong, or both. I've verified that her revised cost of service study, exhibit PSC Aguirre 3R, does not have a different 12 CP allocator for application to remaining station costs after reflecting the removal of the Tilmany station served load. Making this correction would have been the proper approach if directly assigning the cost of the Tilmany station to the CP3 class. Regarding the second sentence in her answer related to a zero measured demand for one of the CP3 customers, this observation is wholly unrelated and immaterial to the issue of the direct assignment of the Tilmany substation. It is true that one of the CP3 customers contributed zero demand to the 12 CP allocator, but this is appropriate since that customer owns its own generation and did not contribute to the 12 coincident peaks in the study period. Importantly, however, I would note that the customer with zero demand is not the same customer as is served by the Tilmany substation. Therefore, Ms. Aguirre's observation has no bearing on the direct assignment issue. Ultimately, Ms. Aguirre does not address the merits of the overallocation issue. As I've testified, allocation of substation costs requires one of two treatments: either no direct assignment of the Tilmany substation, as is KU's approach, which I support, wherein all 12 CP load of all customers classes, including CP3, should be included, or two, if the Tilmany substation is directly assigned, as staff has done, the remaining substation costs must be allocated with an allocation factor adjusted to eliminate the load of the one CP3 customer taking service through the Tilmany substation, the costs for which have already been allocated to the CP3 class.
What is the approximate impact of this error in staff's cost of service study?
Unfortunately, my analysis is limited to the impact comparing staff's original cost of service results, as I've not had an opportunity to fully review Ms. Aguirre's revised Exhibit 3R. However, based on a comparison to her original cost of service results and acknowledging that there may be interactions with other adjustments to staff cost of service study, taken in isolation, the correction reduced by about 3 percentage points the cost of service results for the CP3 class. That is, staff's original cost of service study result for the CP3 class of a 9.93% increase would be reduced to a 6.97% increase. If the correction were made to staff's current cost of service study, as we see in Exhibit PSC Aguirre 3R, I'm sorry. Never mind. I'd like to strike that last sentence that I'd begun.
The sentence that begins with if the correction?
If the correction were made to staff's
Okay.
current cost of service. I
Okay.
don't mean to say that.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Heinzen. I did mean to say, and I'll just start again. If the correction were made to staff's current cost of service study, as we see in Exhibit PSC Aguirre 3R, then it is unclear what the impact would be at this time.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. What was the issue in staff's cost of service study related to the functionalization and assignment of some secondary costs to customers who do not utilize secondary services, such as the CP3 class?
I addressed this issue in my rebuttal testimony at Rebuttal WIG Stevens 18 through 19. I indicated that staff had inappropriately included a portion of the costs in FERC accounts 366 through 368 as being related to the CP3 class when the customers in the CP3 class take only primary voltage service. For reference, account 366 is for the cost of underground conduit. Account 367 is for underground conductors and devices, and account 368 is for line transformers. I explained that staff had arbitrarily separated costs in these accounts between primary and secondary voltage using data from Wisconsin's largest investor-owned utilities, causing staff to sub-functionalize about 40% of the secondary service costs as primary service costs, and then allocate those would-be primary costs to the CP3 class. I now note that KU has agreed at Surrebuttal KU Clevin 2 that all CP3 customers receive service at primary voltage and therefore should not receive any allocation of secondary voltage costs.
And how was this matter addressed by staff in surrebuttal testimony?
Ms. Aguirre addresses this at Surrebuttal PSC Aguirre 6. However, she claims that her review of the cost of service study results shows that there are no secondary system allocations assigned to the CP3 class from FERC accounts 364 through 367 and cites to Schedule 8, page 5 of Exhibit Aguirre 3 in support of her claim.
Is Ms. Aguirre correct?
No. While her cited schedule seems to suggest that none of the secondary costs are allocated to the CP3 class, this is misleading because that schedule shows only the secondary costs which had already erroneously been sub-functionalized as primary before allocating to the CP3 class. Said another way, she shows only the primary voltage system costs after arbitrarily assigning 40% of the secondary costs as primary before allocating to the classes. As a result, some secondary costs are in fact allocated to the CP3 class in staff's cost of service study, despite Ms. Aguirre's claim.
And are you able to demonstrate that this is the case? And here I would refer, I guess, everybody to the document that we served in anticipation of today's hearing from last week.
Before we move on to that, I just wanted to confirm with the witness that the alleged inaccuracy still remains in Aguirre 3R, because I think that your rebuttal is citing to 3, and now there's a revised version. So is that inaccuracy still in the current version of the exhibit? And
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so. But if you would go to the page that she cited, I could probably confirm it real quick on this by looking on the screen.
And it was Schedule 5, I believe. Is that what you said?
Schedule 8, page 5 of Aguirre 3.
Okay.
And
we're at 3R.
That should have been 3R, Your Honor. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, this will be hard for everyone to see, but if you could just confirm that the case remains the same as you were just describing and as you had provided in your rebuttal.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so. These lines still show 0 costs of secondary as she had determined it being assigned to the CP3 class, but this really isn't conclusive because my claim is that she had sub-functionalized 40% of the secondary costs to primary before creating this exhibit. So I'm sorry, but this doesn't prove it
Okay.
one way or the other. I believe that the error still exists though.
Okay.
Because
All right.
I didn't see any indication that it had been changed.
That's fine. All right, go ahead and continue.
Okay, and yes, Your Honor. So then we're going to be turning to the document, and I guess identifying it as Exhibit 10, or we can wait until we're finished with it.
Well, let's attempt to mark it at this point.
Okay.
My memory is serving me correctly. We're at Stevens 9 because we had Stevens 8.
Because we moved him back. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, good. So
Thank you. Yes.
So let's mark the next exhibit, Stevens 8. If you could describe that, and I'll ask for any objections before we receive it. So go ahead.
Exhibit 9. I think is what we said just a moment ago, right? Yes.
Yes, exhibit.
Okay, thank you. The document that has now, this document that you've seen on the screen here, Mr. Stevens, which is now been marked as Exhibit 9. Can you describe what that is before you continue with your conversation or your testimony?
Yes, that exhibit shows a comparison of KU's cost of service study and staff's cost of service study as it relates to the 3 FERC accounts I mentioned earlier. Account 366, underground conduit, FERC account 367, underground conductors and devices, and FERC account 368, line transformers. Column 1 in the exhibit shows the cost information in KU's cost of service study. And to illustrate this, I'd like to focus first on lines 1 through 7, which is account 366. And it shows that KU has properly subfunctionalized all account 366 costs as secondary costs, the underground conduit. This is appropriate because all of KU's underground system is at secondary voltage, as I discussed. KU shows a total of 2.6 million for FERC account 366 costs as highlighted in yellow. in column 1, line 7. In contrast, staff treats 40% of these secondary costs as if they were primary voltage costs through its subfunctionalization step and includes that amount in line 3, column 2, which I've highlighted in orange. This amount, about $1 million, when added to staff's secondary costs at $1.6 million, shown on line 6, yields the same $2.6 million as KU indicated, is the total for FERC account 366, thus reconciling the totals.
Okay, and just wanted to clarify, when you're saying 2.6 million, you're rounding that up?
Yes, the
Okay.
totals at line 6.
Okay, thanks.
I'm
And
sorry,
7.
line 7. Yeah. Not 6 and 7, just 7.
Go ahead.
Okay. The source for this breakout between primary and secondary costs is staff's study. In staff study is Exhibit PSC Aguirre 3R Schedule 8, page 7, as indicated in source number 2, shown below line 24 of the exhibit. This analysis establishes clearly that despite Ms. Aguirre's contention, staff has assigned over $1 million of secondary costs to the primary customers through its 40% sub-functionalization step. And while I won't repeat it, the same kind of analysis then applies to the next block of numbers associated with FERC account 367, as shown in lines 8 through 14 of the exhibit, where this time over $4 million of secondary costs are sub-functionalized as primary before allocating to customers. The third block for FERC account 368, which is line transformers, while Ms. Aguirre does not specifically sub-functionalize the line transformer cost between primary and secondary, she does assign a portion of the line transformer costs to the CP3 class. This is inappropriate since all line transformers are properly functionalized as secondary costs, as KU has done, as shown in the yellow there in column 1. Column 3 in the exhibit is related, and it shows that general plant is also impacted by staff's sub-functionalization, since general plant costs are allocated based on an internal allocator that follows distribution plant. Column 4 then shows the total of distribution plant and associated general plant in staff's cost of service study, such total which can be reconciled to staff's cost of service study, Exhibit PSC Aguirre 3R, Schedule 8, page 5, lines 17 through 22, as indicated at the bottom of the exhibit in the notes section. That's the reconciliation part.
And what is the impact of this sub-functionalization error on the CP3 class?
Well, I have to caveat this somewhat because my analysis would be based on staff's initial cost of service study, since I've not received work papers associated with the revised cost of service study. In that case, correcting this sub-functionalization error in isolation made about a 1 percentage point adjustment. I'll demonstrate that. At staff's original 9.93% increase for the CP3 class, shown in staff's direct testimony, this change by itself reduced the results to 8.63%, or about 1 percentage point. This correction more properly reflects cost causation and must be made to staff study. With regard to staff's revised study, I'm unable to give as precise of an impact as I did for staff's direct, but I would not expect the change to be much different. It would still be on the order of 1% in my estimation.
Are there any other issues which you would like to address regarding Ms. Aguirre's rebuttal testimony today?
Yes, I would like to comment on Ms. Aguirre's suggestion at rebuttal PSC Aguirre 6 that because staff's revenue allocation is a, quote, middle ground approach, close quote, based on cost of service studies provided by the parties, This somehow implies that there is some legitimacy in the cost of service studies at both ends of the range. As I have indicated in my rebuttal testimony and reiterated in rebuttal testimony and in this testimony, there were serious flaws with staff's cost of service study, which were compounded then by Cub's cost of service study. I don't find a middle ground revenue allocation approach useful if it simply falls within a range bounded by reasonable cost of service study results and those of unreasonable ones due to errors. I recommend the commission give far more weight to the studies that do not contain the errors and also contain more reasonable approaches. That is, KU's and WIG's results, as well as staff results, if corrected for the errors which I have discussed, which were presented in Table 6 of my rebuttal testimony on rebuttal WIG Stevens 23. These should be considered the most reasonable results on which to base revenue allocation decisions.
Does this conclude your testimony?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Stevens is available for cross-examination then.
All right. Any questions for the witness? And that was a substantial amount of new testimony here. So I don't know if parties and staff do want to take a break and evaluate that to consider whether there's questions for the witness. I'll allow that. No.
Staff doesn't have any questions, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. All right. No questions then. All right. So no cross. Thanks very much. You're excused. Just please pay attention to all those changes to the testimony. Appreciate you guys filing that correctly on the refile.
Thank you,
Your Honor.
Thank you.
So we're done with WIG. Should we proceed on to commission staff?
Thank you, Your Honor. Commission staff calls witness Adams to the stand.
Okay. Get my documents straight here.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Let me just adjust my screen a bit because kind of off kilter to say it plainly, I guess. Let's see. Hold some documents in reserve here, maybe bringing them back up. So, oh, and I didn't ask actually if I don't think we confirmed if there are any objections to the admission of Stevens 9 at this point. I think we may be past that point, but I didn't. I don't think I asked if there are any.
Thank you. Yes.
So anyone any comments on that? No, not hearing any. So we'll receive Stevens 9, and let's move on to commission staff. So here we go. Got our documents lined up. So I see commission staff witness Adams. Oh, hang on, you're covered up. Just like your eyes peeking out from behind another screen. Okay, there we go. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, Justin. Did you prepare and file or cause to be filed direct testimony in this docket?
I did.
Are the statements and representations in the testimony you filed in this case true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
They are.
Do you have any additions or modifications to your testimony or exhibits at this time?
I do not.
The witness is open for cross.
Any questions? No, not hearing any. All right, thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the commission calls witness Aguirre to the stand.
I see you there. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, great. Thanks. Go ahead.
Good morning, Marie. Did you file and cause to be filed direct and rebuttal testimony in this case?
Yes.
Did you also file or cause to be filed 4 exhibits in this case?
Yes.
Are the statements and representations in the testimony and exhibits you filed in this case true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
They are.
Do you have any additions or corrections to your testimony at this time?
Yes. I wanted to explain further why some of the exhibits were replaced. from direct testimony to surrebuttal, there was a downstream impact caught in the study that was corrected in the revisions. This resulted in an updated cost of service result and a new revenue allocation. Additionally, I wanted to add that commission staff supports having the CP3 billed demand rates on the tariff extended to 3 decimal places to perfectly match the BDCFs. This simplifies any monthly adjustments that might be needed. Additionally, staff does not have any concerns with the RG3 updates proposed by witness Clevin here today.
Thank you, Marie. And did you hear the testimony of witness Stevens here today?
Can I
Yes.
interrupt just a sec before we move on? Because
Of course.
in terms of updating the RG3 tariff, would staff be then revising the exhibit that contains the tariffs
Correct, which would be a Geary 4R.
for R2? Yes? Okay. All right, thanks. Go ahead. Sorry for the interruption.
Not a problem, Your Honor. Marie, did you hear the testimony of witness Stevens here today?
Yes.
Do you have any response to his testimony regarding the ostensible sub-functionalization error made by staff?
Yes, my testimony does discuss the direct allocation referenced by the Wade witness, and I have nothing further to add there. Additionally, staff's model utilizes the primary and secondary line information as provided by the applicant's most recent annual report to understand the 60-40 demand split. And this informs the primary and secondary allocation of FERC accounts 364 through 367.
And do you have anything else to add?
No, I do not.
The witness is open for cross.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just see if there's any questions first. Any?
Sure. I have a couple of questions, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead. Just introduce yourself to the witness.
Sure. Hi, Mr. Aguirre. Steve Heinzen for the Wisconsin Industrial Energy Group. And I have questions only in connection with what you've just testified to with the the sub-functionalization. Do I understand that your testimony that you believe that all of FERC account 366, or I should say of the costs that are in account 366, that 40% are in fact primary and 60% are in fact secondary?
As per commission staff practice, we use the information provided by the applicant to determine these primary versus secondary splits. And in the information provided in the last annual report, that was the split that was offered.
And I'm not familiar with the annual report, but I'll ask, in the annual report, KU outlines or details how they are functionalizing certain FERC accounts, including 366. Like there's like a line item that says 366 is 40% primary, 60% secondary. And we should be able to see that in the annual report.
In the annual report, it is broken out very clearly how many miles of lines refer to primary voltage and how many lines refer to secondary voltage.
And that's by account also.
I do not recall off the top of my head.
Do you know why why the way in which you have, I guess, allocated the distribution plant differs from how KU itself has done it?
I cannot speak to why KU has allocated their accounts, and I'm following commission staff practice.
Okay, but it would be your view that if KU is doing it different than staff, then KU is not following its own annual report.
I cannot speak to that.
So I guess before we move on, and this might be a question directed mostly to Attorney Garcia, the annual report document is that something that's been offered for the record? It just seems like it's something that's now being referenced to as the basis of this disputed fact.
That has not been offered for the record, Your Honor. That is part of what staff uses to construct their cost of service study.
And
it is generally not offered.
And you may not know this, but maybe the witness does. Is that split information that comes from the annual report? That's not something that was involved or provided in the application document, was it?
Correct.
Was not.
Was not.
But it's staff's practice to reference the most recent annual report to find that primary secondary division.
Correct.
Okay. And is there any dispute with the numbers that staff used for that division, or just the fact that it was used?
It is. You're asking me now, Your Honor?
Well, whoever can.
Sure. So
I guess whoever. I suppose yes. Why don't we? You're the most
okay.
contending.
Let me. Thank you. Let me first clarify. The questions that I were asking you, Ms. Aguirre, were intended to talk about FERC account, specifically FERC account 366 underground conduit. And knowing that, does your answer change at all?
It does not.
Okay, thank you. No, I think, Your Honor, the dollars associated with FERC account 366 underground conduit is identical between the two, between KU and staff, which is what you see on line 7 of Exhibit 9. So the totals are the same. However, KU has it all as secondary, and staff has 40% primary and 60% secondary. And if I understand it, you have that split because of material that you are familiar with in KU's annual report.
Correct.
Okay. So I mean, I don't see a specific need to include the annual report in the record based on what we have so far, but if it's useful to anyone, I certainly have no problem putting it in. So
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like
Seeing-
to. No, yes.
Okay. So
I don't have a copy of it right now myself, but certainly would like to see that as part of the record. Thank you.
yes. Okay. And it's a document that's, historical document. I don't think there'd be any dispute to its validity. We certainly have a controversy here regarding its application. So why don't we mark that Aguirre 5? And if you could, Witness Aguirre, just describe the annual report that you used. Just what was the date of the report?
I don't have it pulled up in front of me right now, so
Okay.
I can't speak to the date. But this is a document that is submitted by all utilities at the end of the year and filled out by them. So we use it as a basis for these rate applications.
Okay, and it may be a little confusing given the time frames of these cases, but would it be to the best of your knowledge, the most recent annual report on file?
If you give me one moment here,
Yeah, okay.
I can pull it up.
Thank you. Yeah.
I apologize. I don't know what the docket number for annual reports is. I think it's
So this would be the 2024 annual report. And that
okay.
would be filed on, bear with me one second. So for the year ending on December 31st, 2024, filed on 4/29/2025.
And is there a PSC reference number for that?
Let me. I am not seeing one on this page.
Okay.
And I will ask then if you have that, are you able to point specifically to where in the report you found this information that you're using? Ms. Aguirre?
Yes, just give me one moment.
Okay, sure.
This would be Schedule E-11, transmission and distribution lines.
Okay. Your Honor,
Yes.
m- could we take another 10-minute break to just pull up that page and ask questions very specifically about it?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go into recess until, let's see, 5 after 12.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll ask Michael, or if you guys have a copy of this now, would you mind sending it to the folks on the service list?
I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah, we'll have to, yeah.
That would
to
be
find
very
it.
helpful and efficient. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Great.
Thanks.
All right. Oh, still off camera. There we go. Well, this has turned into an exciting hearing. We did find the 2024 annual report. Looks like so I got that document here.
All right.
So there we go. Oh, I have to negotiate with this keyboard. All right, so we will be discussing this, I'm assuming. So why don't we mark this as a Geary 5? And it is and that's the correct one. It's a 2024 annual report for Kaukauna Utilities, the combined water, electric, and is it water and electric? I think it is. Yeah. Okay. So I think we have questions now from Attorney Heinz on this document. So why don't we go ahead?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate having the opportunity to talk about this document here with Ms. Aguirre. Could you, as we were talking before this brief break, on this or in this annual report where you find, I guess, the information necessary to make a 60/40 split of the underground assets in account 366. We'll start there.
That would be Schedule E11.
Go off the record. What's an easy way to find that?
It would be page 113.
Okay, on the PDF.
Mhm.
We'll try that first and see. Okay. So that's
Okay,
12. Okay, oh, that's okay. Let's see.
there we go.
Okay, so it looks like at this point, so let's get on the record. Yeah, there's no, it looks, we'll have to reference PDF page numbers in order to get to where we're going here, but it's, witnesses directed us to page 1, schedule E-11, which is the page on the PDF numbered 1. Well, it's the page that Adobe will show you if you search on Adobe. It's page 113, but there's no page number on the document. So why don't we go ahead from here? Thanks.
Yeah, so I guess the question is, how did you conclude that there should be a 40/60 primary secondary split for underground, for example, underground conduit, account 366?
We use these totals presented on this page. All secondary has been labeled. All the other voltage levels are primary voltage. We totaled these and we take the secondary over the total mileage to create that 60/40 split.
And the total mileage. Okay. So I just say, as an example, then, this is only looking at one, I guess, one section of this, not all the miles, but look at the pole lines, the top of the page. Pole lines has 107 at 7.2 or 12.5 kV. And then 15 at 19.9, and then secondary at 143. And so the idea with regard to this here is that you would just look at the ratio between the two of them, and primary is whatever primary is, and secondary is whatever secondary is, as a matter of ratio. Is that
correct? Except we would sum urban and rural. So those two sections there.
okay?
And just for clarification, looking at column F, so the end of the year, not column A or B, the first of the year.
Okay. All right, I don't have any further questions right now. Thank you.
All right, great, thanks. All right, so in terms of receiving this document, is it possible we'll need more than this page to create our analysis here, or can we rely on this page 113 for the record? I guess we probably don't know that right now.
Right, I was gonna
So
say.
I would just say, well, we'll just put the whole thing in, understanding that I think at least half of it relates to the water utility, but you'll be able to use what's relevant here in terms of the ratio that's at issue. And I'll just leave it at that for now, but we'll accept the entire. So I don't think there'll be any objections to accepting this document. I'll just receive it as Aguirre 5, and we'll move on from there. So thanks.
Okay, thank you so much.
So any other cross?
I have just one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Sierra. My name is Kira Lair with Perkins Coie for Kaukauna Utilities. And I just wanted to check in with you on one thing. It's kind of totally shifting gears from what we've just been talking about here over to the Commitment to Community Program Rider. And have you reviewed Surrebuttal KU Clevin?
I have.
And in particular, have you reviewed her testimony and table at Surrebuttal KU Clevin 4?
Yes.
And in that section, she provides a little more context for the discussion around the Kaukana's proposal with respect to the renaming associated with the CTC rider. Do you object to KU's proposal in the table at line 11 on Surrebuttal KU Clevin 4?
As discussed in my surrebuttal, I do not object. However, Commission staff feels like listing the relevant tariffs for each residential, general service, and small power service presents an easier opportunity for customers to go into the tariff and find where they fall and where they take service, and to see what fees are associated with that.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Other cross? Not hearing anything. All right, redirect.
Commission staff has no redirect, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then. I think that's all we have for this witness. So thanks very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
All right.
Your Honor, the commission calls witness Andrew Field to the stand.
All right. Okay, I see you there. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Good morning, Andrew. Did you prepare and file or cause to be filed direct testimony and one exhibit in this case?
Yes, I did.
Are the statements and representations in the testimony and exhibits you filed in this case true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they are.
Do you have any additions or modifications to your testimony or exhibit?
No.
The witness is open for cross.
Okay, any questions? No, not hearing anything. All right, thanks very much. And yeah, okay. I see a blink in there, Steve. I wasn't sure if you were if you were frozen. Okay.
Yeah, I am frozen in thought.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
that's fair enough. All right, so no questions. You're excused. Thanks very much. Okay, that's all of our witnesses. And there's that, like I said, there's significant amount of cleanup here, but we have the 3 working days to refile. I guess I'll offer if anyone needs more time for refiling, I can give a few more days if that's necessary. No? All right, well, we'll just expect it then in the 3-day window. And in terms of post-hearing schedule, just want to review that. Just wanted to double check. I haven't looked at this in a while, but it looks like we have the post-hearing schedule all laid out here. So just expect to see all that filed according to the schedule.
Your Honor,
Yeah,
if,
go
if
ahead.
I may on that, I didn't notice this until very recently, but
Yeah.
I think the initial brief is scheduled to be due on Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah,
Day.
I see that too. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why I was, yeah, subliminally thinking about that. Okay, so yeah, well that'll just move to the next day as a working day. So it'll be so the initial brief, proposed transcript corrections will be January 20th. The objections to proposed transcript corrections, the 22nd, and then we can provide an extra day for the brief if that's unless it's like on a Friday. Let's see if that makes a difference. No, we can if we want to adjust that to the 27th, that's fine with me.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful.
All right. Yeah. So okay. So we'll just switch that a little bit according to what we just said. I'll make some adjustments to the online calendar, but there won't be any order for that. We'll just play it as ordered at the hearing. So okay, I think that's it then. And can anyone else think of anything we need to address?
No.
All right. Well, that's it then. Oh, and let me just check. There was something. I was going to take any public comments for people who joined us at this point or have joined us during the party session, but I don't see any new people from the public in attendance. So we'll look forward to getting any new comments by the current deadline to file written comments. Should be the 14th of January. So thanks very much, everyone. Appreciate your patience, especially with that technical glitch. And thanks for providing a record here. It looks like a very interesting one. So excellent. Thanks very much and take care. We're adjourned.
Right. Thank